Hello everyone, hello America, welcome for a new episode of the Disclosure book presentation, my PachaMamArt Encyclopedia Volume 2. So I want to start this conference with a quote from James Baldwin, which is, impose yourself into this world and force it to deal with you, not its idea of you. So this is a quote that my boss at Idea School used to have in his email replies. And I thought it was really cool because society always have this idea of you, this judgment, preconceptions, or they want you to fit in the lane or to correspond to a certain, certain values and everything. Or if you're too kind, they take advantage of you, they disrespect you, And for me, dignity is something so important to defend. Kindness, being super kind all the time, professional and everything. But when people take advantage of it to disrespect you or play with you, then they can see the other side of the middle. And then they're like, oh my God, I've never seen this in my entire life. Like my boss at the school used to, what did he say? Our first meeting, he told me, he's like, you're an anomaly. Like, you're different. It's like you speak 3 languages, you get certified in science in 3 months, you got worked all around the world, your culture is so different, and it's true that you just have to open up to new cultures. So today this episode is a special new chapter for Newsmax, the news channel that I discovered like a few months ago, and I just had a huge crush on Rob Finnerty. I love Carl Higbie. I love all the teams. I love their news, how they go and interview, dictators or prime ministers in some countries who have good results, like, the good and the bad, but just evidencing what's happening. So I'm going to go through the book. I just want to place a few comments before I start so I don't forget. I was watching Carl in his last video. He was saying, we won the World War II thanks to the atomic bomb. Yeah, it's true. We won the war thanks to the atomic bomb because at the time it was meant to defend, or also just they completely stopped the war. So now the problem is that we're using that as nuclear blackmail or shield for impunity. You see that it's happening with Russia and Ukraine. It's happening in Palestine. So because you own a nuclear weapon, nobody can stop you and you can just go and kill people. This is why it's so important for me to continue this denuclearization process globally, to work with the Pentagon, with the US government, with the news, and whoever honestly is interested and passionate about making this world just better. So now, guys, I haven't prepared anything. I'm a natural. Yes, I'm a natural. They're like, oh my God, she's a natural. Yeah, I'm a natural after recording 2 million videos to be recruited in the greatest organizations in the world and never getting a chance, So yes, maybe there is a chance for me to go work with the news in New York City with the best in the world. And don't you want to cover, different topics and do something new? Instead of just like criticizing the Democrats all the time, but maybe gathering around new values, new mindset, a new mindset. Because, you take, for example, Christianity, people didn't question it. First, they came and they killed everyone to impose their religion, the Native Americans in South America, and then they started, imposing these religions with fear. And then over the generation, it has become normalized and nobody was ever allowed to question it. And there is this like hate between religion that has been evolving and basically creating a gap, which is why we have extremism, we have terrorism now in the Middle East, the Muslims who hate the Christians who are scared of the Muslim and hate them, when in fact, you realize that we have common points. What is bad is extremism in every single religion, and the violence around it, even though we see that sometimes violence is necessary if people don't want to evolve just a little bit with their time. So yes, guys, so I'm so excited to do this work for you and show all the great extracts and quotes. These guys crack me up. Like, literally, did she take a nighttime bed? Like, these guys are hilarious. I love how Rob is using this cognitive alignment all the time to kind of confuse the crap out of you. Is he serious? Is he being sarcastic? Is he like stereotyping, you know, like trends? So people like put a mirror, a reflection in front of people's behaviors, and they can actually see that some of the things are ridiculous, or is he actually like super serious and just blatantly like denouncing, you know, the ridiculousness of certain Democrats, like the liberal women like screaming in the streets and stuff. That's ridiculous, you know. So that is so funny. I love it. I feel like working and talking about serious topics while also having fun and just being yourself is so important. So let's take a look at this article. Okay, so the first, you know, every chapter of the book starts with a gate, and I thought that was so cool that the White House published this picture on Newsmax, which is literally the new gate. They've put a new Arc of Triumph in Washington. There is the monument, like the reflecting pool, and the memorial monument also, that are super energetic points on Earth, and we have now witnessed it. Like, literally this day. So this video is not just about saying, oh, they're great presenters of the news. You can just watch Newsmax. You don't need me for that. But what we've uncovered like these days is magical. Is literally, we've done a quantum space-time travel jump. We connected, like, why is Washington called the District of Columbia? Now we realize, in fact, that is like acupuncture points, or how would you call it? Like points on Earth that are linked, connected together from Washington, that there was the earthquake in Venezuela. So yes, you have energetic points all around the planet that are connected to each other. And this is why you say when you do something on one side of the planet, you influence, it echoes around the world. So now we have the proof of it, literally. So all these gates that the shamans, the Incas, the Egyptians, you know, and even the people who built the countries with doors and gateways, it's not just symbolic. They're actually energetic points that are gateways. All we need now is to master it a little bit more so it becomes matter. I would say, would you say that a rainbow is matter? Or that is, it's optical, right? So a rainbow is not matter, right? It's an optical reflection. It's an optical illusion, I guess. You can't touch it physically. So why? So the etherical are able, so we are able to time travel already. We're already able to project, to astral project things that you will see, like visually, but not matter. Matter is too dense to travel through space-time, right? I'm just trying to understand how this works. So, because they're very, 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 I don't know. I wouldn't know. Because the Einstein-Rosen bridge, when they're actually trying to make protons, or, yeah, protons travel in those little bridge that bend like time, maybe are too dense, but through frequency that is not a density, maybe this is able to travel. I don't know. This is just interesting. So that's why we want to meet Nassim Haramein, you know, during the Nobel Prize awards this year, so we can talk about these things. And evidence, or even on the news. Imagine working with the network and interviewing Nassim Haramein and ask him, you know, his input about what happened. What I'm about to show you right now in the article is legit the most exciting discovery that proven on live television. Like, you literally see something happening right now, and the proof of it, like 8 months ago. Like, you know, when they say you can alter the past, what's happening in the future can alter the past and stuff, like this Ouroboros. This is literally what just happened. So crazy. Okay, so working with Newsmax, I would love to talk about all these aliens things, these quantum things, but I love to talk about also about mindset, mentorship, little mindset hacks. So this is all the stuff I've learned. You know, make your business or your company indispensable. Like, bring so much value to people that when you disappear, they can feel the gap in their soul. And this is what we've created. This is why we're so connected to each other, because we're tasting a new level of life that we've probably not had before with some people that can be around you, but you know, the rate, like, of the choice of the people that you have around you, whether at your place, your workplace, or your family, is very limited. You know, you're just limited by your perimeter where you live. But with the internet, you're unlimited. You can connect with anyone all around the planet that matches your frequency. So this is why we connect so strongly, because it's not just by chance, you know, you end up there, you go work there. And of course, you're going to meet some great people and make friends with them, but it doesn't mean like it's either what you want to do in your life, or that you can talk about anything, or that the atmosphere is going to be, you know, super intelligent with everyone. So that's why, you know, I'm working so hard to go and work in those organizations, in those great companies where they hire only the best. So you can have actually intellectual conversations and people who resonate with you. So every day is amazing. And you're not just constantly on a fight for yourself, because I'm sorry, I'm super nice, but I'm also determined. Like, literally, I'm determined of my life being a success. Like, I've studied for it, I've worked hard for it, I'm passionate about it. So I'm going to be successful in my life. It doesn't matter the where, it doesn't matter the how, I'm going to make it. Anyone comes in my way, you know, I'm going to defend myself. So now that I found the people that I want to be with, that I want to work with, that continuing, you know, this legacy, there's others that want to be a part of. There's others who see the value and who also defend it. That's why sometimes there are, you know, a little bit of, how to say it, you know, a little bit of violence and blackmail associated with it, because we see the long run, you know, we see the outcome that's possible. And like, I don't know, you want to live in a planet where all the governments are corrupt and they just kill whoever they want. Like, imagine tomorrow we start saying, oh, you know what, we're going to kill all the Democrats because, you know, we want a Republican country and we don't like them. So, you know, it's okay to criticize them or have fun or evidencing or showing pictures. But what you see in Palestine, where they're like, oh, now we're going to kill all the Muslims in Palestine because we just want Jews here. But it's happening and nobody's doing anything. So if you want a world like this, then keep building nuclear weapons, because then every government will be able to do just whatever they want and be like, oh, well, if you arrest me, if anything happens to me, you know, we're going to blow up the entire planet. Do you think that's normal? Where in fact we should have diplomacy. And the reason why there is so much violence is because people have not learned to talk. People have not learned to communicate, to have a dialogue. You know, or you have a conversation, adult conversation, where you think the conversation has ended well, and then they're going to keep bringing it and bringing it and bringing it. And like, they gotta fucking get over it, man. It's like, immature. Immature people are so immature. That's why we have to teach them, you know? Even working in Newsmax where they hate the Democrats, and I don't think I belong to any party. Like, I agree with some policies of the Democrats. I agree with some policies of the Republicans. All I know is that, you know, in power is what is giving you the opportunity to make this world either better or worse. And if you want the world to get better, you need to have conscious people in power, and people who are also able to value someone who has a different point of view. So that would be a great duo, working, you know, having like a Finns show, and we can both actually share our two perspectives and side of the events and what's going on, mostly in terms of immigration, politics, disarmament, or like military strategies, political campaigns and stuff like that. It's actually an asset to have this kind of dialogues, and it teaches also people that you can coexist with different point of views. All right, guys, let's continue. Develop valuable, loyal, and exceptional connections that lead into partnerships and cooperation that expand to becoming role models and legacy for society. Care, have fun, and be authentic. If you feel like there is more, it's because there is. Read between the lines. Energy will find you where you are, and you both take it where you need to be. Yes, it's not just energy. You know, I had some people stay at my house and they were just meditating by the pool to attract their best life. I was like, well, like, if you want to attract your best life, maybe that's it. You're staying for free in a giant house. You know, you're at the pool, so maybe you already attracted your best life. Now you should work on keeping it, because you should just stay at the pool while I'm working my butt off and you're not paying anything. I'm gonna kick you out. And they didn't understand that. Like, no, but I'm manifesting my better life. I was like, okay, all right. But you know, I've been working really, really hard for 10 years to manifest my best life. And it's really difficult. You know, people don't trust you like this. They don't give you the $20,000 a month job like just like that. You have to work even when you don't want to work. You have to, even when you're tired, even when you know, you'd like to be taking care of your son, but you know, you have deadlines, things to do. Like, you have to make a lot of sacrifices sometimes when you want to be successful. They're like, yeah, no, but I got time. Next thing you know, it's like the end of the month and she can't pay rent. And I'm like, okay, so I told you to, you know, look for a job quickly. When I came to France in January, first traumatized, because my worst nightmare had happened. I lost, you know, my home, my kid. I came back to France worse than I left, with nothing. I was traumatized. I was disgusted. Yet, in 3 days, I found a car. In a couple of weeks, I found a job, and I started working right away. You know, it's just like, you gotta want something out of life, man. And yeah, and some people, they don't have that, so we need to coach them. And the masterminds, they find you where you are, they make you feel understood, but then they push you, you know, to take you where you want to be. And this is what I'm talking about. The energy will find you. You will attract your people that resonate with you, who have the same mindset, the same ideas, but it doesn't mean they're gonna stay if you're not making the effort, you know, or showing willingness or reciprocity to build together. And building takes a while. Establishing trust takes a while. And sometimes it's instant. You know, sometimes, like in French, we say coup de foudre. It's like a lightning stroke. when you fall in love at first sight, and it's like, wow, crazy, and in 2 seconds, you know. But then, like a marriage that you want to last for a long time, then it's every day. You have to feed, you know, the relationship. You have to make efforts. You have to reinvent yourself. Or just, you know, learn to maybe be yourself more, and I don't know, change some patterns. It's not just, you know, it's easy to attract people, but it's not easy to keep them. That's what I mean. And it's easy to say, oh, to get a job sometimes, but how long are you going to be able to stay there? Or so yes, it's all about discipline and consistency and reciprocity and sincerity also. You know, like for me, working at the United Nations was my dream. Like, I'm crying just to talk about it. Like, it was my dream to work at the United Nations for like a decade. That's all I wanted to do every day. I was applying and stuff. But now, to be honest with you, I fucking hate them like so bad that even if they would offer me a job, I couldn't even work there. Like, you know, you can't be a hypocrite in the middle of people who have basically tried to ruin your life for a decade and ignored you and just took away your dignity. You know, so of course people want their revenge. And this is why all the Republicans, they're so angry, because look at what they've done to Donald Trump's family. They harassed them. They tried to impeach him, tried to, you know, put them in jail, blah, blah, blah. Pete Hegseth, he was fired from the military for a tattoo. You know, Rob, he also had, you know, injustices in his life. Like, when something happens to you, of course, you always have this revenge within you that you're angry, you know, so use that as fuel then to turn your anger, you know, in creative fire. I'll say that, or in creative hire, even better. Promote yourself. When you have this light bulb moment, the discovery on an invention or information, it might interest other people too. Not sharing the good in the world is a disservice to society. So yes, I mean, you know, when you discover something, either it's a show that you love or a new religion, I don't know, I'm talking about everything that's happening right now, you know, or someone did something incredible, and you're like, oh my God, like, last week I was watching Rob's show, and I was like, what? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, I was literally screaming on the floor, like, oh my God. And then, so this feeling, like this adrenaline that you feel, this excitement when you learn something new, or like literally the light bulb moment, that's how we call it. If that makes you feel good and that turns you into a better person, more committed, involved, engaged, you want other people, you know, if supposedly you want a happier world and happier people, is going to benefit you, because if you have happy people around you, then your whole day gets better. People are happier, better relationships. It's just like a snowball effect. So you have like a duty to share it with the world. You're doing a disservice to society if you keep this information to yourself. And I always say the Pandora box wants to be open. All along my work as an artist, there was always these things that the Pandora box wants to be open. So think about the others and share with the world. And of course, empower others. Listen, be teachable, have dialogues. Highlight what's best and denounce injustice. There is good in the gray areas too. What's more important? Where I invest my energy, evidencing the truth, or priorities and outcomes? So this is important. Actually, that was Robert Grant who said something similar. He was like, what is more important to you? Being right or the relationship? You know, people, they always want to be right. But in fact, sometimes is it more important to nourish the relationship and care for the people, and just accept that sometimes you're right, but let someone be right, or is it the relationship, priorities. But for me, I transform it a little bit and say, what is more important? The time I spend investing my energy, into my projects or into some people, or evidencing the truth, or the priorities and outcome. Because sometimes you have outcomes that are major globally, very, very important for the whole humanity. And maybe you have to do something that are a little bit illegal, in the process to reach them. But if you know that it's eventually going to literally save humanity, do we always have to tell the truth? Or this is where maybe there are so many cover-ups, because there are people being protected, but it's not by chance that they're at the government, I can tell you how difficult it is to be infiltrated, integrated at least, in all those high-level networks. So they are carefully chosen to be put in place there. There is a reason why they're at the government. Maybe at the time where there was more secrecy, there were probably bad people at the government. But I think nowadays, like the CIA, FBI, come on now, they're all angels. They're here to protect the world. They're serious about their work. There are people who care, who are badass, they kill, they have the keys to the world in their hands, and they're not gonna let criminals or people who destroy the planet stay at the government. So there is the law, and then there are some cover-ups too, when the long-term outcome is more important, But then, of course, we want to restore trust in public institutions, then we have to tell the truth. We have to be transparent and show what we're doing. This is what the Pentagon had their press conferences unclassified. Well, they reclassified them because, I guess, for national security, considering it's kind of tense right now with Israel and Iran and Cuba and all that, the midterms and everything. And where do you invest your energy? There are so many passionate in things and people in the world. If you're spending so much time into promoting someone or something, is there reciprocity? Are they serious? Is there going to be a positive outcome, or does it just simply make you feel good to do that? And sometimes you're not waiting for anything in return, just to be a part. So all of these are questions that I think leaders have to ask themselves all the time, because many times they have to choose between, do I have time to put so much energy into this, even though it makes me feel good, but listen, if I go drink all the time, I'm be broke, or just simple things also, so ask yourself these questions. Then this is the whole file for today. Cymatics, radionic cymatics. So I will let you read that, but basically the sound. Did you see how in my video when I was talking about the video where I play Thought, Mrs. Green, and I've put sound like an echo behind where I was talking. And when I was recording my video in Florida, there was the AC in the room that was carrying the sound around, and there was an echo. And when Rob Finnerty went to Washington, D.C. to the reflecting pool, there was also an echo in the video. And all this echo between me and him, and those two videos responding to each other, was the echo. The acoustic is what created this giant earthquake, or so I believe. You know, maybe I'm making stuff up. I don't know. So that's why in my Ministry of Sound equation, my anti-gravity formula, sound, acoustic levitation is actually one of the components of the system. So you see, we're literally proving, I'm so excited because my anti-gravity formula has been proven. Every single point of it has been proven times and times again. And they're still not signing me a contract to go and build it. That's crazy. They prefer to launch, you know, thousands of rockets every day, pollute the atmosphere, knowing that it's not super sustainable. While we could be flying Star Trek style spaceships. So this is what happened. And the CIA, the FBI, you know, have been following each other for a long time. And when you notice the connection between the people and what we're able to do while we connect, you see the electricity connecting us and the impact on the planet. So of course, I'm not saying it was a good thing. There were people hurt in the earthquake, but we can't deny it's some unbelievable, crazy, supernatural powers that we're demonstrating live on video, and what we could accomplish if we would actually be able to direct it towards precise outcomes. This is why the Incas, the Egyptians, the Khmer, all these civilizations that were using symbols to program their gates, that's what they were doing. They were directing the energy into they were programming, right? They were programming the gates. So that's what we have to do. Program, learn to code, learn to program, so the quantum revolution can happen safely. Because of course, it's like they're doing nuclear weapons, they have to do nuclear testings. So nuclear testings, they go and in the water, they blow it up, and it kills animals, it sends like waves to the atmosphere and all this stuff. So yeah, your first experiment is just like the first time I did like my fireball. I was in Peru and I was so stressed out. There was like a ghost in my apartment and like a demon. You know, there were people, corrupt guys were bothering me and things like this. And I remember like being so stressed out, adrenaline, and there was like a fireball that appeared, exploded in my hand. I had like a lighter, and all of a sudden that thing like blew up in my hand like a fireball, and my TV exploded. Like I was literally blowing shit up everywhere. And then I was like, well, maybe if I learn to, you know, control my adrenaline, my energy, direct all this, I can accomplish crazy things. And of course they're less spectacular, because crazy how everybody starts paying attention, because when it's spectacular and there is an earthquake and people are injured, and it's crazy, you know. But unfortunately, why do we have to wait for this kind of drama to pay attention? In fact, I have been directing my energy into building my network. All this adrenaline, this excitement, you know, instead of my anger that destroys everything around, I use my excitement, my admiration for people, my adrenaline to build other people, to build the network. And what, you know, look at the network we have now. We're ready, we literally would die for each other, you know. People we haven't even met, you know, just because our souls recognize each other. So that's the magic, guys. That's the magic. You think it's like, oh yeah, just some people talking on Facebook. This is the magic. So yes, of course, the spectacular drama or the fairy tale truth. People get bored in the fairy tale. They want, you know, the crazy drama and stuff. But we can find some middle range. All right. So crazy crush on this guy Rob Finnerty, oh my god, like, so smart, so funny, so hot, the perfect man. So why are they all married? Like, I'm waiting for you at the corner of divorce, like, you have to wait till your 40s, like in your 30s. If you're single, it's over. They're all married. You gotta wait till the 40s, guys, until the second wave comes in. So I'm here. So Newsmax, is it greedy to want more out of life? Yes, some people always have it better, or times may have been worse, but what if we needed to feel fulfilled again urgently? This is why Newsmax is bringing you the fire of the dragons, the breath of the oceans, the blessing of angels, making the earth shake in its path toward exaltation and happiness. Remember that the pursuit of happiness is a fundamental human right, and that we all deserve it. Unless you're a dictator, justice will find you. And I believe that too. I believe in karma a lot. Yesterday, like, my boss was like spraying bleach on my face, like, anyways. And I'm like, I'm smiling like a psychopath. I'm like, bleach me in the face, because don't worry, you can bleach me in the face, because you're gonna end up in a bath of freaking acid. I'm telling you guys. Then they were like, oh, we've never seen something in our entire fucking life. I was like, well, good. Seriously, why? It's normal to you that, like, Pentagon, just guys, news, superstars, all the boys, yeah, all the guys, it's completely normal for them to get a job, to be the superstars, but, like, the chick, it's okay if the chick is left out on a side on her own, like wiping shoes for a living and having to say nothing. Like, fuck that. I will never, like, I will be a waitress, I don't care, but nobody ever is going to disrespect me. And that's it. And you should be like this. I'm not saying to be a scandal wherever you go, and be completely immature and trying to fight for everyone. Absolutely not like that. I'm literally the kindest person in the world. Everybody can tell you that until they do me wrong, and then the karma hits. I believe in karma. I believe that if you're doing good every day of your life, if you're working, if you're serving your community, you're serving God, you have I feel like I have a huge mission. I'm serving God, and like, God sees it all. God sees. There is. I know I have a lot of angels around me that see what's going on, and the people who contribute or respect, or you don't have to be a part. I'm not forcing anyone to be in my network. I'm not forcing anyone to work with me. Like, literally, just say no. The UN, why I'm so mad, because they were like, yes, like, we're gonna hire you, like, their speeches full of promises and things, and then they just leave you out. Like, don't promise anything. Don't promise shit if you don't want to do it. I don't care. I'm a super good friend with everyone. Then just say no. I respect someone more who says, no, we're not gonna do that, than someone who's making, like, promises and playing with you and making you, like, waste your time and energy, and then just, like, breaks your trust. So that's so important. Yes, of course, this carrot has led me to create, so much content. But how many more millions of pages written do we need? Ugh. All right. But anyways, I'm glad this book is going to make history, and all these organizations are going to be named, engraved, in the fabric of eternity. So I'm excited about that. I'm really, really rooting for all our team to get the Nobel Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Prize of Physics, Elon Musk, Nassim Haramein, William Brown, Nobel Peace Prize, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, President Trump, General Kane, Rob Finnerty for the Nobel Prize of Chemistry. I won this Nobel Prize of Literature. I need it. I honestly don't think there is any better book in the entire world right now. This is like the best. The art is magical. The people are incredible, supernatural. Look at this guy, Carl. Oh my God. Such a genius and typical American who loves his guns. He loves his, party with his friends and everything. And when you hear him talk, he's a legit genius who cares so much about his country, a patriot. I love that. And these are people that you don't get the chance to meet every day. And if you have like the typical American, sometimes they're not just as open-minded as discovering something new, because in America, you guys are being told so many times that America is the greatest country in the world, that they don't travel somewhere else to learn about other culture. They are scared of everything Muslims. They're scared of everything immigrants, everything different that is going to threaten the pillars that they build their constitution on, which is Christianity. They kind of fear. So I'm very grateful and honored that you guys are giving me this time of attention, and see what we can do with it. Marco Rubio, what's going on with Marco Rubio these days? We don't see him much. I think the conflict in Israel has really, really, impacted his path right now, because he started off super amazing, super enthusiastic. He's a natural. I really, really think that he should be the next president of the United States. I completely, I disagree with his unconditional support to Israel. I'm saying unconditional because, yes, we had to do something for the terrorists. These people, the Jews and the Muslims over there in Palestine, this has been lasting for many decades. It's not just now. So at some point it had to blow up, and where it's happening right now, we did have to change things up, but then it degenerated into a full-on genocide. And I think that he probably feels kind of stuck right now in between, their decisions to help Israel, the blackmail that's going on, because Netanyahu is a master criminal, blackmailer, a genocide, like war criminal. Like Netanyahu is literally the plague on earth right now, and they're probably like blackmailing the American government on some kind of sort. So, he's in between the right thing to do and like what they have to do or what they are told to do. So we have to support them. We have to support them and see that no matter what happens, we're here. We're going to try to make it better. We're going to catch this motherfucker and imprison him if the International Court of Justice could finally start doing their job, instead of just like, being speeches and all, but not much happening. Yes, so this is La Reina del Flow, guys. This is the show I've been watching. I didn't even have a TV in Florida, so I haven't watched TV for years. When I came back to France and I had nothing to do, I just started watching this show. So I could, keep practicing my Spanish. And I fell in love with the songs, the characters, the stories. Once you watch the show, the songs speak to you because you know the story, you identify to things in your own life. And it's been really so great. I'm going tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm going Wednesday to the concert in Spain with my coworker friends to watch, La Reina del Flow and Charlie, like Carlos Torres, who's been playing around with us, sharing like super cool videos and music. Love it. So cool. So cool what we can do now with social media and the internet. So that made me think, of like you know, our news team, how we just respond and play kind of spreading the information, testing the ground a little bit, because, you know, you're bringing new, like it's disclosure of super crazy information. I mean, for me, it's every day that I know these things, but I know, like for someone who is super Christian, introducing a new religion is very difficult. And this is why there's no one better than Rob Finnerty and Carl Higbie, you know, like super conservative people who love Christianity, who's been preaching for Christianity for so many years. Because now, if someone's so, you know, far right is going to put some water in the wine, is going to shift a little bit their point of view, the people who really identify to them, they're going to follow. They're going to be like, oh, well, if he who believed so strongly about that, now he's bringing us new information to evolve with it, that is the perfect strategy to bring the change. So just the fact that you're open-minded enough, you know, to listen to someone who's from a different political party, a different religion, a different everything, this is such a mark of intelligence. Yeah, that was so funny when you did that. And here is Kim, who gets all her beauty secrets from me, okay? From me, not the other way around. I'm just kidding. I could only wish to look as beautiful as her. She's amazing. So this is my formula, my propulsion formula. So the lightning, okay? So you have the elemental, the dragon. So all what's around is elementals. And all the sign symbols, they are the components of the formula, okay? So the dragon sparks the first light. You need to have a spark of energy in the system. That then, and here is where I'm challenging physics, the laws of physics, the Newton laws of physics, which is, no, that's not Newton, it's the, Newton is like the mass times acceleration thing. But the laws of physics is actually energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred or converted, right? But in this system, it actually energy can be amplified. So from a little spark of energy, you're able to bring massive amount of energy. Okay, so from one spark of lightning and mastering, you know, the temperature, the thermostat, like Dean Graziosi would always say, you have to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Stop trying to fit in the clan or stay in your lane or tell, you know, be the thermometer, be the leader who says, okay, now we're going to do it like this. But I'd say sometimes you have to be a leader, sometimes you have to be a follower, sometimes you have to be a cheerleader. You know, that's the circular economy that I preach for. If it's always the same leaders and the same followers, there's no reciprocity. So I think we have to be a little bit of everything and learn to be teachable, learn that sometimes listen to your leader, listen to what they say. And sometimes you have to be the leader if it matters a lot to you. So the temperature with the crystals, the effect of the temperature on the crystals, that creates friction and a release of energy that's going to create propulsion, you know, that then you can amplify through the sound, the vibration of the sound, which is like the acoustic levitation and stuff like that. So reverse magnetism, this is like the propulsion. So I inverted the symbol here. It was this little fours that you see right here. They were back to back, right? But then I put them I reversed it so it would like be like propulsion. So see, I edited the symbol. This was not the original symbol. and a steel fusion. So this is like, I like this one. Looks like a little house. It looks like a little house with a guy that's taking a bath. And it's like the walls, you know. So this is what the formula is. It's within the walls of the aircraft that the energy is circulated in the walls. It's not like a motor and a whole engine and stuff. It's the walls itself. Just like integrated solar integrated roof tiles. You see what I mean? Same thing for the spaceship. All right, so that's my discovery that I'm still waiting for the US government to sign me a contract for that, or Elon Musk. That's why I want to gather during the Nobel Prize celebrations this year. I want to gather Elon Musk with Nassim Haramein. So, because Nassim Haramein, he will understand and explain you this in 2 seconds. They already have actually in the Origin of Math and Nature of Gravity paper written by Nassim Haramein. He found the electromagnetic phase equation and the electromagnetic and the gravity phase, gravitational phase. So we have the equations already, the actual numerical equations. These are the artworks. So these are the artworks. I love how you guys are the magic. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm literally just painting stuff. And then they use the symbols and the artworks to bring them to life. Unbelievable. And you know what? Oh my God, I have to tell you. Because I've painted so many artworks just because like I had to paint this. But I didn't know who I was painting it for. Some artwork is I kept for many years, just like my crystals. I would keep for many years, and they were like mine. I would keep them forever. Like my Chakana, the blue one, that was like my artwork with the flower of life. These two were going together, and I was holding on to them. I was like, I'm not selling those. I'm not giving those. Nothing. And one day, I meet someone, and I'm like, oh, that's his painting. Oh, that's his crystal, you know? I was like, I go all around the world and collect all this stuff for people who are supposed to have them. I believe there is an energetic blueprint, who, I don't know, maybe that's my job to send out, you know, gifts to people so they can have their little amulets, like their little talisman to become the masters of the universe. So you're welcome. And yes, so this Chakana right there, when I went to the US the other day, I was like, oh, that's Rob. So I sent him out the painting, you know, and after that, he went and he removed the sword from the heart of the ocean, and this is when the earthquake happened. But for the believers, it was all obvious. I don't know. And I explained it to my best friend. She told me, I have no idea what you're talking about. This makes no sense. I was like, I know it's because you have to follow, actually. If you're not, yeah, I know. But it's crazy. Some people, you can show them in front of their eyes, they still won't see. So there's not actually a big danger in talking about these things. This one is called Destino. Destino es mi destino, amarte siempre, que tú siempre estés presente, es mi destino, sí quererte, porque esa ha sido, ¿verdad? Porque esa ha sido nuestra suerte. Oh, I love the show. I can't wait to be at the concert. Can't wait. So I'm not going to comment on everything, but look, I painted that the next day. That's crazy. The next day, the G7, they take out this picture. Like, can't make that stuff up. Like, I didn't know. I painted that the next day they posted this picture. It's really remote viewing, time traveling that happens to me when I'm painting those things, and that's contagious. So be careful. You may become or reveal all the master time travelers in this world. So look at this guy here doing his little magic over the memorial monument, Washington, D.C. I've been there before. There were a ton of flags all around it, American flags. And he's doing this and he's summoning, like complimenting the fountain. He's like, this is a beautiful fountain. It's never been so clean, blah, blah, blah. And the fountain was like, okay, open. You know, the elements, they're alive. They're alive. So you want to open the doors to the other dimensions. You have to talk to the elements, apparently. And that's the gateway. And that was crazy. I can't explain that, guys. It's like, just look at the images. Nothing like this has ever been witnessed before. Air Force One is amazing, said President Trump. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And look at that. That's me stalking on Rob Finnerty. Okay, yes. Outrageously not ashamed of it. But look at that. Like, he posted this picture of his house, so I don't know where that is. And the next day, the same day, there is this lightning coming here in Paris. And then the earthquake in Venezuela. He's in Washington. And on the other side, there is the earthquake in Venezuela at the same time. And then I see this, like, these little things here, the rainbow, like that's real stalking, guys. I'm just like embarrassed. But yes, seriously, magical. And these are the cards that I didn't know he was in DC. I was just in the plane coming back from the United States. I didn't know what happened that day. I was after the airport. I just went to the beach because I was so tired. I wanted to grill in the sun. Went to the beach and I put 3 cards of that oracle, which was the Merkaba activation, Ancestors Realm, and the Akashic record. I pulled out of complete randomness. I pulled out these 3 cards. I did not pick the cards in the deck. Actually, I'm gonna post the video soon. I haven't had time to edit it because it takes me a long time to edit those videos. Can take me a full entire day to do video edits. But this is literally exactly what happened. The sword, the little Stonehenge looking things with the energy and the Akashic records. Clearing old stories, releasing past lives and freedom. Is that a sign for you? Because now, like, I don't know how I could live without you, seriously. And this is so the big thing we've been discovering, how good Delcy Rodriguez has been doing, you know, since she was obligated to take over after Nicolas Maduro's capture. She's been actually doing great for her country. She's been delivering humanitarian resources. She's been collaborating with the United States government. And they also, where is that? I love this. I love that they both posted that on the same day. Maria Corina Machado and Delcy Rodriguez, they've been posting this. Like, they respect each other. You know, Maria Corina, she's like, Juntos por el renacer de Venezuela, la misma red ciudadana que fue capaz de burlar la persecución del régimen de Maduro y vencerlo en las urnas es la red que ahora se activa para desplegar un gigantesco operativo de solidaridad. So you can see they respect each other, you know, and hopefully they will work together, bring the country back to power. And, you know, it's also interesting because Maria Corina, she wants to be the president, you know, and now Delcy Rodriguez is the president. Maria Corina, she had the Nobel Prize. And Delcy Rodriguez, she got the title. And it's true, there's so many of us, you know, we want it all. But we also have to give room for other people to get their moment of glory, to get their reward as well. So I don't think there's like, and we all matter. Just because you're not the president or you don't work at the Pentagon or, you know, every single one of us matter so much. Like, you're a journalist, you're influencing millions of people mindset every day, which ripples so strongly into people's mindset, into society. Because a happy society, there's less violence, there's more help between the people. Then the government, it's important to work at the government because you're building the laws. At the same time, it's not an easy job, because whatever a government official does, you have the opposite side as they are trying to cancel their work all the time. This is impossible to work in this freaking condition. Like, seriously, let people do their work so we can move, you know, to the next level instead of the same old Republican Democrat fights. And then, you know, that there's people like me who doing, well, I'm not really doing anything that matters much in my professional life over there. But what I do from my computer, my internet, gathering all this information, sharing the information, sending it out to the right people, you know, who can relay the message and amplify, that matters too. And the art, also, my most important work is my art, because there's not a lot of artists in the world. I would even say, don't become an artist. You want to be broke and not taken seriously, just become an artist. Or just, you know, it's very, very rare. Like, I'm lucky right now that my art is starting to get some attention. But it was a long, long time. And I think it's also the stewardship of ideas. The art itself became so powerful because of all the energy that everybody has poured into it as well, that it has become more and more exponentially powerful. Okay, so of course we're not forgetting our Nobel Prize angels, the Nobel Prize Committee. They have been so supportive. Every day they bring so much information into the network. They're bringing the missing keys of the puzzle together. You know what I wanted to do, and I haven't had time? I wanted to look into the work of the winners of the Nobel Prize of, was it the physics or chemistry last year, which was metal organic frameworks. I wanted to know everything about that. And, you know, for my my spaceship thing, because they're bringing the missing keys, you know, to the puzzle. So they know about the goals, they know about the network, they're a full part of the network also. And I think what I would love to see this year is that the Nobel Prize is bringing us together so we can continue on this plan, gather all these important people, get them to where they need to be, to official government. Like, we're taking over. You know, I wrote to the White House a few years ago, 2 years ago, I think. I wrote to the White House and to the United Nations to send them my environmental plan. And the first word was, hi, it's for an invasion. It's for an alien invasion. Like, who does that? And it's true. Like, we want to infiltrate all the government. We are good people. We want to make the world better. And, you know, the Nobel Prize, they want to know what's going on in the most powerful government in the world. Like, you have the weapons that could destroy the planet in like 5 seconds. So, no kidding. We want to be in those decision-making positions where we can keep working together, we can keep, you know, having integrity and making sure we all go in the right direction. We're mostly with AI. AI is so scary, so scary. AI and the weapons. For me, all the weapons we have and AI and stuff, this is not a good omen for the future of humanity. I'm just telling you this right now. Remember my little dream when I dreamt that I was in a cave with a few aliens, and they were telling me that they were us. They used to be human. They were us from the future, and there was a nuclear explosion. The earth became unbreathable. They had to take shelter underneath the ground so to avoid the radiations. Their lungs turned blue, their eyes popped out, their nose melted, and the only way they could change their history, their fate, was coming back in time and preventing us from doing this. So here now. And we've proven that with the rainbow thing, you know, like Rob proved this with the sword, like the quantum like space shift. And I did that, like he and I with the rainbow, the time travel with the rainbow thing. So space-time travel now we know is possible, you know. So at that time, in the future, they're coming back here with, that's what we're doing here. Okay, we're aliens, we're invading the Earth. We're not aliens, we're humans who turn into these little gray aliens. What you call aliens, those little gray things, they're actually humans who have turned blue because of our own stupidity, not being able to handle the technology. So that's us. That's us now. So since we still have hair, we still have food, we still have, you know, right now we're living in the best time in history. We have everything. So now our goal is not to make the life much more evolved technologically, but to give this comfort to everyone in the world. You know? The goal is not to go like this. The goal is that everyone benefits what we have. I think the only technology that we still have to discover is space technology. That's all. We don't need much better technology for, you know, like medicine besides cancer and longevity. These are the last two things that really we have to work on. Most of the diseases, they've been cured. You know, we have cars. I don't think flying cars would be a great thing. Imagine your car, you know, falls off the sky like this. This is nonsense. We can't have flying cars. We can't have maybe optical. Maybe the optical is going to be a technology like you're going to have people, like, instead of WhatsApp or video chatting someone, you're going to have them like pop into your living room with like optical projection. Maybe, but these are not big, huge technology shifts. We're already there. So what we have to do now is space exploration, colonizing other planets to ensure the survival of humanity, like Elon Musk says. Okay? So see how everything that was seen so crazy a few years ago now is starting to make sense, and it's becoming more and more obvious. So this is why I'm working today. So now let's talk about those amazing people. So I want Carl to become our new VP. I want Marco Rubio and Carl Higbee to be our president and vice president. These guys care so much about America. They're such patriots. Like, this is why I'm working today. Do you hear that speech that he did on Memorial Day? I was like almost crying. That was so beautiful. He says, Reagan said, freedom is always only one generation away from extension, and to maintain it, America only sends our best. Imagine you get to be there for that one hug with their family. Think about all the things you have that you sometimes take for granted. Why are we not investing into people who would literally die for this country? So many veterans are homeless today. I have lost so many friends to suicide. This is why I'm working today. Like, he's so great. He's such a great man. Like, imagine having, you know, a vice president that is so inspiring, so caring, and has, you know, his own ideas. Like right now, JD Vance, I think he's just repeating what Donald Trump says, and then they've put him to the finance fraud and everything. But for me, he doesn't have the charisma to be a president. You know, he hasn't, like, and I've seen him talk a few times, and like JD Vance is great. Don't get me wrong, he's great. He's smart. He knows what he's talking about and everything. But I just don't think he's got that charisma to be the president or the vice president or the experience like Rubio and Carl had, and it's just like, also, are people liking your character? Are you a role model for people that are you a lovable person people are gonna be crazy about and just listen to everything that you say? I'm sorry, there is also the charisma that matters. Yeah, doesn't mean that you have to be like, you know, you're perfect, or you can't be imperfect. I'm saying about myself, because I don't think I have like, you know, the best charisma, or I'm not always super sure about what I'm saying, but I think I care enough that people identify to me. So there's always something like, you know, does your audience love you? And Rob, the Save America Act. Yes, so this is just like how through colors, there's always this energy that's coming through the colors, through the patterns, that even though we're not completely saying the same message, it still connects us. And also, I want to talk about the 1111 frequency. When this is a thing, Mind Valley, I think, they found that out. It's called the 1111. No. What was it? It's like basically you have two frequencies, and it's like a brain hack. They use that on depressed people. It's like a brain hack that you sleep with those electrodes or whatever, and like there is one with a frequency that's like low and one with a frequency that's like 11 times higher, right? And by putting like this cognitive, basically it's like a cognitive dissonance frequency applying to your brain, it would just like realign it. Okay, so that's not me. I didn't mix that up. It's the Mind Valley who researched that, and sometimes that's why having like two different, you know, an opinion, and one that is 11 times higher, or two different extreme opinions and things like this. This forces people to see different perspectives and find some middle range and like the harmony. So I think Rob Finnerty is an expert at this. He uses cognitive alignment, because I don't like to say cognitive dissonance, because it's a manipulation technique that confuses the shit out of people. So then they're in a state of shock and panic, and they don't know what to think anymore. So the first thing you're going to offer to them, they're going to believe that. And, you know, marketers and stuff, they use that all the time. And he uses it a lot, you know, he mostly by using like sarcasm, and you don't really know, is he serious of what he's saying? Like he's confusing you. You're in a state of like trying to understand, you know, and then it just like breaks down the barriers in your subconscious. So then the message can reach your subconscious. So of course, these journalists, you know, they didn't start yesterday. They are complete professional experts in what they're doing. They've been doing this for many, many years. So they're not just delivering information. They're reprogramming your mind. They're changing your emotion, your energy. And eventually, with a long-term plan, hopefully we can bring in new information and your new mindset in America. You know, for me, I would love to bring more of the American mindset to France. Because people, they give up on everything so quickly here. They don't fight for anything. It's crazy. They get offended. They have no, you know, warrior mindset. It's just like criticizing, but they won't stand up really for people, or just give up too easily, or they don't take risks for their better future and everything. It's just in general that I think we need to bring more of that mindset to France. Am I live? Am I still on? Okay, so yes. So God, we found God. I found God. Okay, he's hot. God is hot. That is a fact. The greatest, most powerful man ever. Rob Finnerty right here. Please, y'all, lean at his feet. Because he's so great. So awesome. So some extracts from the Emerald Tablets. Actually, the one I wanted to read was the extract. Where was it? Right here. I need to read that extract right here. Then spoke I to them in words calm and peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis, saying we were children of the sun and its messengers. Cowed I them by my display of magic science, until at my feet they grovelled, when I released them. Long dwelt we in the land of Cam, long and yet long again, until obeying the commands of the Master, who while sleeping yet lives eternally, has sent from me, the sons of Atlantis, sent them in many directions, that from the womb of time, wisdom might rise again in her children. Yes. The tablets of emerald. So if you have not read the tablets of emerald, you should. This is my favorite passage of the whole book. I love this one, but I'm gonna read the whole. Over the world then broke the great waters, drowning and sinking, changing earth's balance, until only the temple of light was left, standing on the great mountain of Undal, still rising out of the water. Some there were who were living, saved from the rush of the fountains. Called to me then the Master, saying, Gather ye together, my people, take them by the arts ye have learned of far across the waters, until you reach the land of the hairy barbarians, dwelling in caves of the desert. Follow there the plan that ye know of. Oh, this is a typo here. Did I type that, or is that the screenshot? Yeah, there is a typo in the. That's the real translation. Okay. Where? Then raised I my staff, and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragment of stone of the mountain. Don't you feel like it's things that are happening right now? Every time I read the Tablets of Emerald, it reminds me of events that are taking place. Like this thing is playing on repeat and adjusted in frequency depending on what's going on. Cowed I them by my display of magic science, until at my feet they grovelled when I released them. That's crazy. Yeah, so this is the magic, but you see, this is I love what just happened. I love it because so the Christians, like the story says that Jesus, he was killed and he resuscitated 3 days after, resuscitated in flesh, not just in optical vision, right? In flesh. So then they wrote a book about it that lasted 2,000 years so far. And people are just waiting for Jesus to come back. When in fact, I believe that Jesus was showing us what we are able to do ourselves as human. Once we connect to God and pure enough to believe in the power, and maybe also God chooses the people. Maybe not everyone has that. Maybe God chooses some people to be able to do these things because they have proven the grit. Also, imagine that someone weak, someone shy and weak would start having those experiences, and then they get attacked because, of course, people at first they're going to be scared. They get attacked, or they're too ignorant to convey the message or to study the thing, or they fear themselves. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, but maybe God chooses also some people to demonstrate those things that are influential enough or strong enough to act, or credible enough, that have the credibility, like someone like Rob demonstrating these things in front of his whole news network, highest network in Washington, and people that believe that because they witness it, So now we're talking. Now we're able to say, okay, now look at this book. It's everything written, in there. So that just makes us believe in magic. Why are people so religious? So dedicated to God or Jesus? Why? Like, who cares that the guy was killed 2,000 years ago? Like, many people were killed all along history. You know, people, they love Jesus, they love God because they want to believe in magic. You know, they want to believe in miracle. They want to believe in magic. This is why they love their faith so much. They want to believe there is a God that can accomplish miracle things. It's like the carrot, you know. Oh, God is going to make my life better if I, you know, if I do good actions, if I keep doing this, or if I keep praying, or whatever, something is going to protect me. You know, we all want to feel protected, like someone cares for us. We feel safe with them. Hopefully you would like humans to be this for each other, you know. And that was the message of Jesus and God, is that, hey, pray God, but keep swimming towards the shore. It's like the story of the guy who's stuck during a flood. He's, God, come and help me. There is a boat that comes. It's like, no, God is come save me. Then there is a helicopter that comes in, and they're like, no, God is gonna come and save me. And then guy dies, and he goes to heaven, and God is like, you idiot! I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. You know, why didn't you take it? So that's the message, you know. We have to, what we want from God, we have to be it for each other. And maybe we're able to accomplish that magic now. So instead of believing so much in God, maybe we have to believe in each other. I love that. Yes. All right. Okay. So more about Rav. See, I found God. I'm so impressed. The sword, you know, the sword is such a powerful symbol. And I love to talk about artifacts and crystals and esoteric objects. You know, monuments, architectures, all these things have such an important place in history, mostly in a country in America where, let's be honest, it's just concrete everywhere. All the roads look the same. It's always like roundabouts and parking lots with restaurants and like square roads. I drove for 10 years with a GPS in America. I could never find my way. Everything looks the same, just roads and parking lots. So we need to promote the art, the creation. I love that Donald Trump created a new Arc of Triumph in Washington. I love that Rob took it seriously, you know, about the sword, and they're using those symbols now in their news. The energy of colors and stuff. Now you see the power that all these unleash. You know, the pentagon is a geometric, sacred geometry shape. Yep. So one day, I'm gonna read this for you. One day, someone shows up and your life changes forever. It's not a drop in the ocean, it's the entire ocean. The reflections of the sun, the colors, the abyss of the waves, the hope and freedom you seek in the horizon, the mysteries of life beyond perception. It is the air and water, and yet it feels like fire, finding each other here to bring heaven on earth. A double rainbow bridge between the seas, skies, and lands. Man, I wrote this years ago. And you see the fabric of time. We're already linked to people we haven't even met yet, or that we don't even know exist. But your higher self, or God, or, you know, your timeline that you planned when you created your life path, I guess. It's already happening before you know it. And this is one thing that I want to share, that my mentor would always say, Dean Graciosi, that he would say, you know, you want to find a relationship, or you want to find, let's say you want to find love, you know, you have this whole list. Oh, he needs to be super smart. He needs to be, you know, handsome, hot. He needs to be funny, dangerous. He needs to be, what did I say? Intelligent. He needs to be, you know, successful, caring. Like, you have this whole list of criteria. You know, he needs to love my kid, or whatever. And then he was saying, but you have to become it yourself. If you want someone who aligns with your match, you have to become this yourself. And that's why for me, I wasn't looking like, yeah, well, actually, personally, listen, you know what? People, they think I'm a homewrecker because I'm always falling in love with people. But in fact, I'm never the one running after guys. I'm coming in like, hey, let's work together. You know, this is awesome. And then they're like, oh man, I'm gonna marry you. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, yeah, whatever. Yeah, they've done that trick on me before. Like, get lost. And then I come to everything, and then they insist. So of course, well, I'm allowed, to believe that maybe someone wants me someday. But to be honest, I was more focused. All I've been focusing on my 30s is my career. All I've been doing every day is trying to focus on my career, because it's like, I know that where I am right now, all I'm gonna fight is a freaking loser, So because I'm not where I need to be yet. So I was focusing on my career, on building my books, my art collections, my network and things. So I could become that person that this man that checks all the lists would want. It's not something to just want that ideal person, but if you're broke, you're jobless, you're you're nothing, you can ask, I want everything, but I'm nothing. So you have to work on yourself. If you have those high expectations, you have to work on yourself to become that person as well, And in the process of becoming and working for it, then you attract the people. And I'm not saying that, like literally I was going out with a guy when I came to France, and he was super cute and stuff, and he was literally like a real loser. And I was like, well, we're having a good time, we just whatever, don't need to. But the guy was not trying anything for his fucking life. I like nothing. I was like, listen, okay, you're not a politician, you're not rich, you're not nothing of my list, okay? We're just having good fun. But I was like, the guy is not trying anything for his life. He's not looking for a job. He's not looking for an apartment. He's not, he can't even care for himself. How is he gonna care for someone else? He's like complete fucking loser. I was like, man, I can be with a guy who's way beyond me, but if he wants to try to change his life, if at least he's making efforts, that's why I have a good opinion of myself, even though I'm not where I want to be. I don't have the job. I have, I haven't had like a official job offer, anything, but I'm like, man, am I fucking trying, So the mindset is also very important. So in the process of becoming, of creating these encyclopedias, of creating this network, I'm becoming that person. So I'm more aligning, and actually another thing that my mentors say is like, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So surround yourself with the people that you want to become, instead of surrounding yourself with people that you don't want to become. Like I said, I'm not a snob. I have friends of all classes and stuff. I'm getting along with everyone, but for my marriage, my career and everything, I want the high level intellectual people, hard and fun and all the things. So that's why I'm targeting those networks, because I want to become a part of it. Simple. And after doing this for so many years now, I'm part of the network. So yes, guys, Becoming. This is actually the name of a book by Michelle Obama. Becoming. Yeah. So you see, the magic kind of works, because all these things I was creating, and now I'm attracting my checklist, So cool. So cool. Yes, and supportive friends, and just like the content, incredible, and the loyalty, and whew, guys, so exciting. So this is the Inca rising sun. So this is the Inca Gate. This painting was painted after a sunrise that I saw in the island, a Montani island on the Titicaca Lake in Peru in 2010. And I went there, I woke up at 3 in the morning to go walk that. It was in July 2010. Yeah, July 2010. I was on Amontani Island, Titicaca Lake in Peru, went by myself with a group, and I told the guy, I know on the other side of the island there is the gate of the sun, and I want to go there for sunrise. And he said, well, it's far, we got quite a walk to do. If we want to go, we're going to wake up at 3 in the morning. And I remember that night was so cold. Like so freezing. I don't think I've ever been so cold in my entire life. We were staying in a family there. They didn't even speak Spanish. They were speaking Aymara. And they had the beds ready for us with maybe 10 blankets over it. This stuff was huge. I couldn't even move because I had so many alpaca blankets on the bed. I was like, oh, it's going to be good tonight. We're going to be nice and warm. And I was so freezing. It was probably I don't know, igloo temperature in that thing. And the clock goes off in the morning. I remember I did not want to get out of bed. I was too cold. And there were there was a couple with me we were sharing the room, and I told them, I was like, guys, you still want to go? Let's go. They're like, oh my God, it's too cold. I was like, come on, let's go. We said we're going to do it. Now the guide is going to wait for us, and we can't do that to him. We got to go. So we wake up. We go, we walk to that gate, and it was so dark. It was complete dark. And then we get to the side of the island and we look at the sunrise, and it was just so beautiful. Every time I lived those experiences, I was 24 at the time. Traveling around the world made me so proud. Every time I would be like, man, look at me. I'm by myself on the other side of the world, witnessing those incredible sunrises. And this gate was supposedly one of their cosmic gates as well. So that's the gate I painted. So this is the symbol, the symbols. It's Inca patterns all around. And yeah, super simple, but it's just like a memory. And I actually have it here, the original here with me. I gave it to my mom. So Air Force One, the new airplane, presidential airplane. I love that. President Trump is so cool. He just is. Sometimes he's annoying the way he speaks and stuff because he likes to piss off people, I think, which I can relate to. But he's actually so cool. He's sharing everything, with us. He's playing the games. He's creating some badass things all around the United States and the world. So big up to President Trump. Another alien here. Yes, we spotted you, Pete Hexet. Look at that. That was on my Instagram feed. I didn't even do that on purpose. Then I went to my shared reels, my repost, and I saw this, and I'm like, oh, look, that's him. The energetic blueprint. Crazy, huh? How those aliens have been invading the earth. But you can see these are not normal people. You can see they have supernatural abilities, how good they speak, how the magical, the energy they carry everywhere they go. And this is why they have such an influence in the world. This is also some crystals. This one, Tony Robbins has it. I sent this one to Tony Robbins when I sent him a painting. I sent to my mentors a lot of crystals and paintings, a lot. So probably, I don't know, some of them probably ended up in the trash because their wives were jealous, but hopefully not. Hopefully they kept it, because the goal was that everyone has a painting or an artifact to anchor the energy, to connect us, to keep the network connected through those amulets and talismans. See another dragon here. This this was, yeah, this one was over my house. This is the unicorn. That day I went to a spring in Florida to take pictures of the new painting I did for a workshop. I was promoting my workshop, so I did a little painting like that. I was doing workshops for children and stuff, and I go to the lake, and then I see the unicorn, like the same thing. Crazy. This has happened a lot. So now you see their different dimensions. Yep. So we spotted 2 aliens, guys. I'm bringing back the aliens to the CIA every time I found them. Yeah, super magical, awesome. So this one is the FBI. This website has been seized. Yep, every time they find something, they're like, okay, classified, we're taking that, thanks, we'll get it from there. Yeah, such a great encounter, guys. Yeah, so proud. Most extraordinary launch in the history of the world. Literally epic. So, weekly headlines of Forever Shift. This is day 1. Heat alert, you're incredible. Then introducing La Reina del Flow. So what do you think? Should we have a show? Like the Finnegan's show? I'd love to have like a rubric and come every day. Talk about some topics with Rob. We could do a new dynamic in the show, talking about like aliens, politics, energy transition, political campaigns, laugh at some people, remake movies, whatever. So many different things to do. I have hundreds of thousands of pages of content that are ready. So, even I could go, even if I'm not ready for one day, I could take just 2 pages of my book and talk about it for 30 minutes. And then interview researchers like Nassim Haramein. Another one that I met at Billy Carson's event. Also the Egyptologist, I don't remember his name. Just to get things moving, not the status quo of the same old technology. Mostly that we have people like Jared Isaacman and Elon Musk that are working with the government at our fingertips. Like we can change up the whole space industry. They are willing to do extraordinary things. So let's work with them. Let's get it going. Right now we're still talking about oil and rockets, when in fact this is already almost outdated technology. I mean, it's gonna be. So if we know something is aimed to be outdated technology, why don't we start investing right away into the new ones, just because they want to stay competitive? But yes, in fact, everything that they're doing right now, even the tests that they're going to the moon and everything, they collect the data. That's thanks to the data they're able to create a new technology. So we need both, but facilitate the transition. To shortcut it a little bit would be nice. Okay, so this was all, the response to the flag of America, like the little heated flag that I don't know what we're talking about here. Everybody posted that. Look at him. He's so cool. Charlie Flo, like this. I want to talk about Charlie Flo, because why did the show work so well, La Reina del Flow? Because in fact, you see, this guy, Charlie, he's like a mafia. He did such bad thing to Jamie, the actress in the story. He was like a coward. He did the worst. His uncle like killed people, the mafia, everything. He he committed a whole bunch of crimes, right? But he has such a amazing personality that you cannot not love him, and this is the whole thing of the show, is that Jamie can choose between, there's this old other guy, Juancho, who is like, he's like the perfect, husband. He's really good to her, loves her so much, is, not getting out of line ever. And then here comes Charlie, like complete destruction, chaos, alcoholic. But the public they want her to go with Charlie, even though he did all this horrific stuff to her. And because he has such a good personality, he loves her so much. He's always, she treats him so badly, but he he's always, the smart one actually in the relationship. He's, poetic. He's very charming. He's always positive, always vámonos, dale, the cheerful personality and outgoing. So I love the character because it really shows that personality does a lot, like sometimes outrageous, but because you have such a great personality, people are going to be like, oh yeah, let's do that. So yeah, that's a great show. La Reina del Flow, the beautiful music. And now they're going on tour all around Europe. So welcome to Europe. Bienvenidos a Europa. I can't wait to see them on Wednesday. Valencia. Yes, Lara Trump. I love all the journalists. And Caroline, she's back. I bet you Donald Trump is so happy that his Caroline is back. And this actress, so just to tell you a little bit of the story, actually, she is the beginning of the show. Jamie is young. So she's the actress that plays Jamie when she's young, and she's the actress that plays Jamie when she's older. So who's your queen, man? Who is your queen? I want to be, guys. Yep. Magic happening. So that's it. So I'm going to let you read all of this. This was the show. Like, I strongly recommend that you sign up for Newsmax. This was so funny. Like, when they were just quoting all the amazing things that America has been doing, and you just have to watch them. These are all the little paintings that I sent to the Newsmax team. This is my dog. You know what? I feel so bad. I miss my dog every day. I had to give away my dog. Imagine. I would never forgive this to the UN, that they let me down like that. They promised me a job. They just let me down. They're traitors. Like, not the social media team. They're, they've been rooting for me so many times, but finally, they've watched me lose it all. But give my dog away, bro? My fucking dog? Yeah. I hope they fucking go to hell. Like, literally hate them. Whatever. Yep. That's Uncle Tony right there. Uncle Tony, great pictures from the show team. Mariam, see, I love this woman. Like her, she's awesome. She's the global peace advocate of the United Nations. Thank God there's new generation coming in, that those old morons that have been there for a while. But yes, they're finally opening up to young generations that are super conscious, super cool. So hopefully we get to work together one day while I'm working at the US government, and we can reshape a little bit the relationships with the UN. Maybe help them make the ICG a little more efficient. I don't know. But the US government is the one who's been blocking the arrest of Netanyahu so far. So I don't know why we're still at that. Look at these. Them so cute. Oh, so adorable. I love that they have, presenters of all ages, all styles. So a lot of people can identify, like relationship goals. So beautiful. all these America cool things. The Right Squad, I'm listening to your questions, answering, gladly when I can. Look at this. This was so cute as well. Like, genuinely friendly and just genuine people. I love that. Here, the mermaids. Do not look at mermaids, guys. They're dangerous. But yes, this is still, my campaign for the Nobel Prize. Of course, we want the masterminds to be rewarded. Yes, a lot of people have let me down or whatever, or was too harsh on me, but the mindset is there. Social economics, teaching people to build a business, teaching people to be relentless, to fear nobody. And also they gave me, because I fear no one, because I know I have my network back me up. Also, so when you have people behind me, like the other day, I argued at my work, like strongly, like very badly, like with my boss in front of, there were some customers here, don't give a shit. I was just like throwing a scandal. We argued like screaming for 15 minutes. And the next day, some 5 bikers come in and they're eating and they're like cracking me up laughing. They're so funny. I'm trying to take their order and they're just joking around and joking and they're so funny. And then he's like, but seriously, if you have any problems, you let me know. And I was like, okay, cool, thank you, I will. So sometimes you don't know who's watching, but when you have some people behind you who have your back, then you're a little bit more confident in stepping up for yourself or for your people, your community. So yes, Nobel Prize of Physics, guys. These 2 geniuses, Nassim and William, these guys are straight aliens. Like all these people, I'm sorry, there's just some people of a higher intelligence among us. This is where maybe they succeed. They have the grit to continue, the intelligence to make it exceptional, the charisma to be loved by people, and they need to be rewarded. They can completely change the world. Like, this is life or death matters. Like the nuclear bomb, this is like the entire humanity that is jeopardized by it. So, and we don't need those weapons. Let's focus on what we can do with our natural abilities. Like, what do you think about this? There is a legend that refuses to die. It says that scattered across the earth are 13 ancient skulls, each one carved from a single block of solid crystal. Oh, wow. And I didn't know that. So I'm reading this right now. And that when all 13 are finally reunited at humanity's hour of greatest need, they will release knowledge that could save our species. It sounds like pure fantasy until you remember how the people of ancient Mexico actually felt about skulls. To the Aztec and the Maya, a skull was not only a symbol of death, it was a symbol of life and rebirth. Beneath modern Mexico City, archaeologists can cover the Huitzompantli, a great rack of more than 600 human skulls mortared together at the Templo Mayor, built to keep the gods alive and hold the universe together. Skulls sat at the very center of their world. The most famous crystal skull, the Mitchell Hedges, was said to be lifted from a Maya ruin in Belize in 1924. The official verdict today is that it is a fake carved with rotary tools that did not exist before the 1800s and traced back to a London auction. But here is the question that nags at me. Is it possible that branding these skulls as modern fakes is exactly how you stop the world from hunting for the real ones still out there? And how much should we really trust the institution that keep them locked in their vaults? Interesting. But what if we are the skulls? What if we are... I do believe of these crystals. I know they are somewhere. Like, I have one right here. The crystals, they actually unleash these power within us. I think that now we become so connected to the etherical realm that we don't even need the crystals anymore. Like, these crystals, they will amplify us. a clever hoax or an old secret buried under an official stamp of doubt? What do you think the 13 skulls really are? What do you think, guys? I know that at least some people, when they reunited together, there's definitely sparks coming out of it, but they were saying that the skulls, they could either destroy the world when they're reunited or save humanity. So maybe that's why it took so long also to make this happen, because we needed to level the energies before we could all meet. Level the energies, because imagine, like, we haven't even met and there's a freaking earthquake. So need time to, level the energy a little bit. Yeah, so this is the Metatron's cubes, guys. I think there's 13 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. So the Metatron cube, of course, 13 circles. So reunited in a sacred geometry pattern. This one symbolizes the network. These are fire letters that Natalie Chintanavich was talking about. I posted about her this morning. So this is an interesting story. We haven't met, but we've been in contact through her lawyer, because she tried to sue me for copyright infringement for this painting. Because I painted these symbols right here. All these symbols that you see, except for that one, they are fire letters from her oracle. So in her book, that is my son Esteban next to it. So in her book, she says that these fire letters were believed to be engraved in the cosmic gates of the universe and also in our DNA. I always say that the microcosm is a mirror of, at scale, of course, but of the macrocosm. So that's what she says also, that those symbols, they were in the cosmic gates of the universe, in our DNA. So technically we are connected. Antennas. You know how an antenna works, right? You have an antenna. You need to have an antenna on one side and a receiver on the other side, right? So there's always two. And that's basically what's happening with the people, the connection. You need two antennas, like a bridge. So our connection between our DNA and the universe can be through symbols. So now it's obvious. But then she had a lot of success with those books, and she was part of, I guess, I don't remember exactly the story, but she was probably in some kind of diplomatic network, working in an embassy in Thailand or something like this. And one day she got threatened. They threatened her, like, basically death threats and stuff. So she got really scared and she escaped. She escaped Thailand. She came back and she completely hated, just like me with the United Nations, she completely discarded all those esoteric stuff, saying it was evil. She turned to Christianity, and that's it. Since then, she's saying, those symbols are just demonic. All these spiritual communities. She doesn't want to hear about anything, and she's just like Jesus, the Christianity and everything. So, and then one day I received a letter that she was suing me because I was using her fire letter without her consent. I was like, well, you publishing out symbols, like, I'm allowed to draw them. Like, I'm sorry, it's not. But then I talked to her lawyer, on the phone for like an hour, and he was like, well, I'm going to give you a course on copyright. I was like, yeah, and I'm going to give you a course on art and culture, and freedom of expression. And we just had this little battle for an hour, and then I received a letter, and he was basically saying, keep doing what you're doing, tell everything. So that was so funny. But then I investigated about her a little bit, and I realized that maybe she was a little bit infiltrated into the Christian communities to teach about those letters, because even if you're saying those esoteric symbols, you know, I don't use them anymore because now I love just Jesus and stuff. Low-key, she's still promoting those things, you know. So then people are like, but what symbols is she talking about? What book is she talking about? Why? She's like, I removed those books from publication, so now there's just only a little bit left, but I don't want them to be ever published again. People be like, what? Well, let me get those freaking books, you know. So I've always suspected that she's a double-edged you know, influencer. So that's why I respect her. I'm interested in her work, and I respect people of every religion anyways, but I thought it was funny how the switch when I'm trying to do the opposite. Actually, I'm trying to get people, the Christians in America, to step out a little bit from the victimhood that is been normalized in the Bible, which is what I can't stand. That I can't stand the mentality of, oh, the suffering. He died for our sins. He suffered, you know, so much for our sins. So then it's completely normal to, you know, martyr people, because then they're going to be in the arms of God. Well, maybe if we stop promoting this stuff, people would actually, you know, have more decency toward each other and not think that suffering is a part of life. You don't need to make people suffer to prove their worth. Absolutely not. We should make the way easy. So, and actually even the Christians, this is how they used to convert the Incas, with symbols. You know, the Incas would worship the moon. The Christians, they started putting a moon behind Mary. You think the aureola that they have around them is like their glory, like the saint aureola, but in fact, this aureola that you see behind all the saints' heads and stuff like that was the moon. When they went and converted South America, they had to put the moon behind Mary, so the Incas that were animists and worshipped the elements, they would lean in front of the moon, you know, worshipping their symbol. They were not worshipping Jesus, the Christ, Mother Mary, and all these characters and stuff. But then, over the generations, their children, seeing their parents leaning in front of Mother Mary, they started assimilating and saying, now we worship Mother Mary, we worship Jesus and stuff. But so they did use symbols to convert, you know. That's why now, I'm not trying to convert anyone, I'm just trying to expand, because those things that they call demonic, or it's just because they want to believe that only God has those kind of powers. You know, everything else, people trying to use this type of powers, it's witchcraft. No, it's just God manifesting their power through humans. So we should actually use those, be able to develop. You believe people, they will believe that a phone, a piece of ingredients, like a piece of materials, copper and little strings and little chips and stuff, they believe that this phone can video call someone on the other side of the world. They believe that, right? But they can't believe that we can like time travel with like a little piece of symbol, you know? So why? And why? Because people don't trust themselves. That's the confidence thing. And once again, you know, God is the Almighty, you know, and we're nothing. This is another religious thing, that in fact, trust yourself. You are God. If you're born from the beginning, I will tell you, you are God. You are the extension of God. You have all these powers, whatever God does or Jesus does, that you should be able to do it. Like, you look at this little symbol and it's going to teleport you. Like, if you believe that, then you're going to be able to start doing it. But most of the time, people, they can't accomplish because they don't believe that they can. So they prefer to trust an external thing. That's like the imposter syndrome. They prefer to trust a device that is external to them and trust that for communication, than trusting their telepathy or their or it's just like people who don't trust themselves and they're like, oh my God, this person is going to be such a better journalist than me, or she's so much more beautiful than me, or you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be good as a politician, like, you know, some people are smarter than me, or I'm not an engineer, why am I gonna invent an anti-gravity formula? I'm not an engineer, I didn't study engineering, you know. So you let other people do the things that you're passionate about because you don't trust yourself, you don't have confidence, so you're delegating this task that you want to you dream about to an external source of power, people who dare more than you. And that's why they always say there's people like less talented than you that are getting the job that you want because they dared, you know. And that's why I'm daring. I'm like, okay, I'm not an engineer, but I did find that, and if I dare to get that spot, and I'm working with Nassim and Elon, and there are gaps, things that I don't know, then that's why I'm surrounding myself with the specialists, the experts. But the idea from the beginning, no one can lead it better than me because that was my idea, you know. So the passion, the care, some other people maybe will give up, but if it's your thing, it's your heart, your mission, you're not gonna give up. So yeah, even though nowadays the competition is hard because there's so many talented people everywhere, that you have not only to be talented, but you have to also be, you know, you have to be talented and daring. So mindset, masterminds, guidance, get a coach, get a mentor, someone who's on your side, and maybe not someone from your family, because they don't see you the way you want to see yourself. You, in your dreams, you see yourself that amazing person who does this, does that, whatever. Nobody else sees you like that. They see you like how you are. So find some strangers who like the same thing that you do, and encourage you to become it. Yeah. Mirror, mirror, tell me which is the cleanest reflecting pool in the world. I thought that was hilarious. How? Ah, qu'est-ce qu'elle me dit? Okay, cool. I got distracted. Yes, I thought it was hilarious how he just went and started complimenting the pool, and then like the magical power unleashed. It's like, without realizing, like the little ritual. That was crazy. That's my baby, my amazing little man, Esteban. You know how he got his name? From the Mysterious Cities of Gold. The little boy was Esteban. He went with the Spaniards to conquer South America, and he discovered like the Incas. He discovered the golden condor, where he was flying over mountain. It was a solar energy device. Yes, please God, let this dream be true. You know, I'm tired of being like a puppet. Seriously, have some respect, man. Yes. So, but don't worry, there will be opportunities for everyone. At least if I ever get in a position of power or influence, I will not play those little games like people have been playing with me for so long. I'll give opportunities to people, opportunities to rise when they're still full of enthusiasm, not that one pissed off and becoming naturals. This is a little legend from the Huacachina. I'll let you read that. From Peru. I like the legend of the crystal skulls. This is MPS. Look how cool. I put the reflecting pool also. So that story went viral. That was so funny. Iconic. Yep. Love it. That's disclosure. Live stream. And you tell your people that. That's it, guys. Oh, yes. And then look at those crop circles that came out. There's new ones even that I've put on my social media page. Other crop circles as well that were like some paintings that we've made. And yep, that's Rob. I'm obsessed. I'm outrageously obsessed. outrageously obsessed. Yes. Very, yes. Very in love. He is so awesome. Hi, it's hot. Then my birthday pictures, little Maya here. I put some lyrics from the songs from La Reina del Flow. I love these songs. They're cool, so I've put them here for those who like to sing. Dean, the greatest salesman in the world. You know, Dean is always the one who would tell me, take the risk, take that little road that leads to, you know, something fun. When I went to Peru, after I came back from Egypt, I went to Egypt in 2022, and I came back, I was so broke, and I knew that, you know, I was gonna have to find a job really quickly, and in my mind, I was gonna find a job quickly, I was like, in 6 months, after my divorce, I was like, in 6 months, I'm gonna have a job easy. So I was like, I want to take my son to Peru before I start working. And I was like, and if I don't get a job, I'm going to be severely in debt, because I was added up to $30,000 in debt. And I was like, so either I find a job and I'm not going to have the time anymore, or I'm about to be in serious, like, blacklisted from the banks, in debt, really bad. So no matter what, if I have to take a trip, I should take it right now, because it's not going to be possible after. So I bought 2 new credit cards just before I went crazy. And I took my son to Peru. I took this whole trip, and Dean was the one who was like, just be fucking crazy. Like, you can buy back the memories, you know? Like, basically, okay, well, who cares? You're going to pay off your credit cards one day anyways. But the memories, the time that you had with your kid, you're not going to buy this back. So take the trip, take the opportunity. And it would always be like the bad voice in my head. But this is thanks to this crazy dude that I did all the incredible things in my life. Took the trips. I went to all these places. I dared promoting my work, even when they're ignoring me, trying to silence me or make fun of me. I don't care about being ridiculous. Look at me. You think I care about being outrageously in love, ridiculous, wanting a job and trying again and again and again? Like, literally, I told you, like, I'm gonna be successful. I'm never gonna stop. So, you know, and they're the ones, Dean and Tony, who's put this mindset into me. Because if I would listen to, like, other people, would be like, why, you're taking another trip right now? But you're crazy. You say you're broke and you're taking a trip. I was like, exactly. I'm broke. This is why I'm taking a trip, because, you know, if I don't do it now, when I'm gonna do it? So yeah, live life, guys. Life goes fast, and tomorrow is not promised. The people you have around you is not granted, you know. So while you have the chance to do the beautiful things, then you do that. And that's my baby in Peru. I took him to the same island where I went. And this is actually where, I mean, not far from that, in Bolivia, where we saw the lights on the lake. The lights that led to the formula, the equation. All right, here's our team. Gabriel is the son of my boss. He's so cute. He's a little 8-year-old boy. He's so cute. Some Blue Angels action here. Love the Blue Angels. I love pilots. I want my son to be a pilot so bad. This is just skilled job, demonstration of excellence, everything I love. Some little events that happened. This is Mount Shasta. So someone what was the page? I didn't put the reference. Sorry, I need to add the reference right here. I think it's, who posted that? I don't remember. Who was it? Mount Shasta, voilà. See, I put it. Mount Shasta, Lemuria Telos. So they say that there is intra-world under the Mount Shasta. So would that be a little intra-world on matter, or would that be in a different dimension, like frequency, like we've been talking about, like we've seen with the sword, like we've seen with the rainbow, like we've seen with the dragons manifesting? If you dig, are you really gonna find that, or just soil? But in another dimension, this is what actually is behind our grid. Interesting. So now, Finn, who are you? Are you Neo, or are you freaking Mr. What's his name? Agent Smith. You know, I don't know. But yes, this is the guys. The Pentagon, Marco Rubio, Donald Trump, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, Jorgen Watney-Friednes, Maria Corina Machado, Ana Corina Sosa, and the other members of the Nobel Prize Committee. They are dedicated, you know, to help with the democratic transition all around the world. So very grateful for that. I think that, you know, it would be nice to have him work at the Pentagon, so the Department of War could become the Department of Peace. He could give them a lot of guidance between other democratic models around the world, military strategies, because they have a lot of classified information, or role models, you know, the or successful like transitions, like in Iran, for example. That would be nice to operate to help them, guide them for the political transition, you know, all these things. So I think that'd be great to see them working together. That would be literally the 11th frequency, you know, like the lethal forces and the non-violent peace work to find like a good harmony for the world, which I admired both of them equally. Great people. I love, you know, I used to hate politics because there were such morons in politics when I grew up, and corruption and conspiracy theories. But now we have such amazing people in politics. You just want to be a part of it and work with them, because they also make it interesting and fun. Here's some screenshots. I just like, I'm very sensitive to visuals. So I love when they're making beautiful visuals and like strong, catchy lines, and yeah. So that's just for the records. I do believe this book is going to be in the records for many centuries. Hopefully we win the Nobel Prize of Literature with this book, which is like a compendium of all of our work, and that we all get rewarded to celebrate America this year. This is like a whole year we're celebrating America, not just today. Heart, spirit, and raw patriotism. That's his definition of nationalism. Carl Higbie, the presidential appointee. Okay, he's a journalist at Newsmax, badass undercover CIA, alien secret agent, for sure. We got you, Carl. But yeah, this is another one of his speech. I put some extracts from their speeches. They're also magicians. Some projections, you know, working at Newsmax. That could be us after work, going get drinks and talking about, I don't know, anything. I love my coworkers. Honestly, where I work right now, I work in a restaurant, and we all love each other. All our coworkers, we get along so well. All the clients are so cool. This could be a fun job. But the bosses need some Xanax. They're so stressed out. They don't trust us. I tell them to trust us. They like, I can't trust anyone. Okay, but I'm like, I'd rather trust and fail than, you know, live my life being on defense against everyone that I always meet, you know? So that's a shame. That's a message to the boss. Like, if you're hiring people, just trust them that they're gonna do their best, and they're, you know? She's like, oh, you just do, yeah, but you guys are just doing this job for the money. I was like, well, for sure. But when I'm at someone's house every day and working in their restaurant and they're giving me a job, I actually care. You know, actually, I love to go to the restaurant. And if the waitress was a bitch and she would spit on my plate and do all these kind of nasty things, or the food comes dirty or whatever, that would literally ruin my day, you know? People spend the money to go out to the restaurant. Like, when I go to the restaurant, I want to be cared for. I want the food to be delicious. So, like, I'm not stupid. If I'm the waitress, I'm going to deliver that experience to the customers. Otherwise, I'm going to go do the dishes where I don't see anyone, you know? And I was like, you know, I have an IQ that's high enough to understand that even if it's not my business, I can still give my best for you guys, you know? But that simple thing was too hard to comprehend. So that's a shame. Like, if you're a boss, just trust your employees a little bit more, because I believe most humans are good, inherently good, and want to do the good around them. And the more you empower them and give them leverage, the more they're going to try to do for you and become loyal, and, you know, but that's not given to everyone. Yes, the card's so cute. Someone will have to come through me to dishonor the American flag, but I would say the same for our network. Guys, so cool. Yep, it's here, the shenanigans, man. Jesus. Trouble. I knew you were trouble when you came in. Let me tell you that. So that's one of my favorite visuals from this article. This would be so cool to have, you know, a great, like, right now Trump has probably the best term of the two. Like, his second term is amazing. He's got such a great team, and we don't want this to stop. You know, we want this to continue, so we can continue the work and not just have to start over every 4 years. So you want people who already know all the stories, who already involved in the party. And so, like, Carl is perfect. He's a journalist. He's been in the military. He's a patriot. Everything. Right now they're supporting J.D. Vance, but I don't think J.D. Vance would be bold enough to be the president, while Marco Rubio is. You know, maybe there's some decisions that we don't agree with him, but at least he has the guts to stand for his position. So that's what is expected of a president. Okay, maybe some people will agree with his stance on Israel. Some people like me strongly disagree, but the skill behind that is being able to stand strong on your positions and be a leader. And that's what he's doing. Happy 250, yes, so this also is an important page of the article. So a little bit of the Excalibur story and the little temporal vortex, quantum time travel, full-on energy shift that's been happening. Looks creepy, but basically, what are the odds that a god would remove a full-on sword from a massive stone in Washington and that a lunar crescent came up for desert? I don't know, probably it doesn't make sense to you, but try to put up some pieces together, guys, and tell me what you think. It has been a remarkable thing to witness, totally authentic, and there was no way to plan for that. Nobody expected it, but it's been happening for weeks across the country. We have built the greatest nation in the world, people coming from thousands of miles away for the first time to watch a soccer game, typo, and they have fallen in love with America and the American people. So thank you, literally. What could be more exciting than experimenting, space-time traveling, love story, and hopefully happily ever after with you. So we are legend. That is it, guys. I don't know how long this video was, an hour or two. But wow, this has made my week, my month. This is my life. You guys are such inspiring people. I want to work with the news. That would be so great for me to share all this content with your audience. I also develop, you know, my communication skills. I'm actually better when I don't prepare my speech than when I prepare and I'm trying to remember my lines. But I can speak about any of these topics without preparation and being surrounded by the best, you know, that would like shortcut me to like exposure. So like the goal is to display the information, right? So people can benefit from it and eventually get a political appointment at the government. That's what I want to do, you know, and we could really work together with Rob and Carl and all the Newsmax team on, you know, getting to get those political positions when come the next elections. So that gives us 2 years to do that, hopefully win the Nobel Prize in October. But like I said, I'm campaigning, for a lot of things and a lot of people, I'm applying for a lot of jobs, and nothing is guaranteed. You know, nothing says that they're not going to change their mind or there's not someone better that's coming. Like, you know, I trust on my people, but also I've been proven many times that you have to pray God and keep swimming towards the shore. So I'm not just the kind of person who's just going to sit here on my hands and wait for October, like wake me up in October and that's it. Like if nothing came up, that's what I would have done. But now that I've discovered a new place where I would love to work and more, I'm taking my chance. Right. Okay, so if y'all have me, contact me, PachaMamArt1111@gmail.com. It's all over my website, my pages. My phone number also is easy to find. I'd love to work with you and get something new started. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you liked the article and I am looking forward to watch your shows tonight. Bye.